Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvadha Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Saha Viryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We've completed up to verse number 8. So, how was the week? Did you get to practice the 8 verses? It's important that you don't just do it during this period while you're doing the verses. Once we're finished with this text and we've gone on to Tattva Bodha, you should continue practicing it. Continue. If possible, have a system, try to come up with a structure, some kind of a checklist, or some kind of a spiritual diary or spiritual notebook, something that enables you to measure the extent to which you have been, the extent to which you have practiced it. I used to have a boss of mine in the past who used to say, that which gets measured gets managed. So you want to manage something, you have to measure it. Because you don't measure it, you can't manage it. You won't know whether you're improving or you're regressing. So try to find some means to measure it, some means to track it, so that you can see how much of progress you're making with regard to following these remedies. Okay, so we'll go to verse 9 today. Ayur gacchati petikam iva jalam santyajya deham javat. Okay, verse 9 is unique in that it's actually there's only a single message in the entire verse, but I'll read it all. Okay, Gacchantindriya shaktyopi kulata yat vannaram nirdanam prajnam gacchati dhavadaha samaye nidam mrigi pakshivat jnatva sarvaramashraya matma padavim deha vrita ma kritaha. So this whole verse 9 actually is summarized in this, I'll share the screen, then you get to see it. Yeah, so the entire verse 9 is actually remedy number 41. We stopped at remedy number 40 last week. So remedy number 41 is the entire verse 9, which says that one should depend on Atma. Always remembering that life is short and that the body and senses will age. It means life is, while we think we have many years to live, but the human lifespan is short. So there's a limited time on earth during which you can come to discover God. That's number 1. Number 2, as one grows older, the body and senses age. And when they age, it gets harder to pursue this knowledge. It gets harder to implement some of the remedies. And it gets harder to unlearn some of the bad habits that we may have cultivated in our lives. So for this reason, it is saying that some of these, the spiritual pursuit should be started early on in one's life and not wait until the end of your lifespan. Okay? And over and above that, at all times throughout your life, one should depend on the Atma. I'll elaborate a bit more about that. So the verse uses a lot of graphic terms to drive home the point that life is short and that the body and senses will age. The first line is saying that life is like a vessel filled with holes, okay, and where you have into which you have poured water. That means it's a vessel with holes into which you have poured water. Will the water stay there? Obviously not. It will continue to drain out. So life is running out like that, like a vessel into which you have poured water. The water continues to drain out. So that is the analogy they are using there. And then they say that the power of the senses will deplete. It gets harder to read text as you age. Your hearing will also get bad, and so on. And then he goes on to give the analogy of when at some point in our lives, if we're not fortunate enough to have people who can look after us well enough, or whatever the situation may be, then the living conditions may not be so favorable. Here it's talking about a case where in case you lose your wealth at some point in your life, and he's using the analogy that wealth may be like a bad woman who leaves the husband. So that is the analogy that is using to say, they are using to say that calamities can sometimes strike us in our lives. So when times are good, those times should be used to study Vedanta and take up spiritual disciplines, because it gets harder to do these things when the situations are not good in your life. Okay? And finally, they also say that even the discriminative ability, the ability to discern, the ability to discriminate will deteriorate with age. We know that people get dementia when they grow older. You can't remember things. So even the power to process, to apply logic, all that will deplete with age. And here the analogy they use is like a deer or a bird that runs away from the forest when the forest is on fire. They're using that example to say that is when you get older, the intellect's ability to process and to remember will all be gone. So for all these reasons, therefore, one should always undertake the spiritual sadhanas early in one's life. And here particularly they are saying that one should resort to Atma Padavi, they say, the state of relying on one's Atma. Okay? At this point, since some of you are just starting on the study of Vedanta, you may not be so comfortable or may not be so sure about what is meant by really relying on Atma. Not sure because we've not unfolded Atma to a great extent yet. What you can do at this point in time, replace Atma with the word God. So what it means is, at all times, rely on God. Rely on Bhagavan. Make God as your co-partner, co-traveler. Everything rely on God. That is the habit that you should cultivate. And as a Vedanta, as a student of Vedanta, it's all the more important that at all times, God should always be the central entity, the central vastu in your life. Okay, so that is the message that we interpret from this verse number 9. Okay, so with that, actually, the remedies are over. Actually, the remedy number 41 is actually the final remedy. Remember, this is a remedy for what, right? We have already made it clear. This is a remedy for Durvaasana. That means the wrong vasanas that I may have. These remedies are to cure you. The Pratikaara, it's a cure for the disease of Durvaasana that you may have. So these remedies are to help you get rid of those ailments. Okay? So there are 41 listed up to verse number 9. Verse 10 is the last verse, but verse 10 doesn't contain any remedies. It is basically a verse to say the benefit, the fruit of studying Vedanta, the fruit of a life where your durvasanas have been cured. Because once your durvasanas are cured, are eliminated, removed, you have a mind that is clear and prepared to study Vedanta deeper, number one. Number two, the knowledge that accrues to you from studying Vedanta will be better assimilated. You'll be able to see the reality of yourself and you'll be able to manifest that in your life. So that is the main benefit of studying this Durvaasana Pratikaara Dashakam. Okay? So the verse 10 is actually the benefits of the entire Vedanta vichara, as well as the benefit of embarking on a life to eliminate this durvasanas. Okay? Dhairairavata Shanti Dhenu Damana Mandara Vriksham Sada Maitryaryapsarasam Vivekaturagam Santosha Chintamaniam Atmajnana Mahamritam Samarasam Vairagya Chandrodayam Vedantarnavamashrayan Anudinam Sevasva Mukti Shriyam. They are saying that the benefit of doing Vedanta Vichara, okay, I'll start with the end. They are saying the benefit of the ultimate benefit of doing Vedanta Vichara, Vedanta inquiry, study into Vedanta and assimilating it is that you get this wealth, this ultimate wealth, this Shri. Shri means wealth actually. Not just any, normally we say Shri is money, but it's not just material wealth. Here the wealth is not the material wealth. This Shri that you're going to get here, this Lakshmi that you're going to get here, is not the money Lakshmi. This Lakshmi is the Lakshmi of Mukti, of Moksha. So you will get the wealth of Mukti or Moksha from Vedanta Vichara. That is what the final line is. And how will all the pieces come together? They describe it very beautifully here. They say the dhairya that you get, the fearlessness that arises from assimilating Vedanta will be your Airavadam. You know what is Airavadam? The elephant vehicle of Lord Indra. Indra's vehicle is called Airavadam. So you will have Airavadam, but your Airavadam will not be an elephant. What will your Airavadam? Yours will be the elephant of fearlessness. You will not be afraid. Fear will be banished. That is the phala, the fruit of Vedanta Vichara, number one. Then you will have something called a Kamadhenu. You know what is a Kamadhenu? Something that can give you anything that you wish for. And what will be the Kamadhenu of the student of Vedanta be? They are saying it will be the attribute of Shanti. When you are at peace with yourself, you already have the Kamadhenu. Because you're contented, you have peace. You're not in a state where you always want this, want that, want this, want that. Remember they say that the richest man, there's this cliche, the richest man is not the one who has the most. The richest man is the one who needs the least. Richest man is not the one who has the most, is the one who needs the least. So that's a way of looking at it. So here your Kamadhenu will be the Shanti, the peace that's going to accrue to you as a result of this inquiry. Okay? Then you will also have a wish fulfilling tree, a vriksha, kalpa vriksha you will have. And what is that? That is Dhamma, self-control. The control that comes to you as a result of this vichara will be your wish fulfilling tree. So you have a white elephant, not white elephant, sorry, elephant of Indra, Indra's elephant, Airavadam. You have a Kamadhenu, you have a kalpa vriksha. Okay? And then you got something else. You will have apsaras attending to you. Apsaras. You know what apsaras? They are the dancers in Lord Indra's court. And before the men get carried away, the apsaras here they are talking about is the maitra and karuna. The friendship and compassion that you will cultivate as a result of this is the apsaras. The apsaras that are going to accompany you. Okay? What's apsara again? Maitra, Karuna, and all the other good attributes that you're going to cultivate. These will become the apsaras in your court. Okay? And then you will have a horse on which you can gallop. Just now you had elephant. Now you will have a horse. This is the horse. This horse is called viveka, discrimination, the power to discriminate between good and bad and gallop away from that which is undesirable, which my discrimination shows to be undesirable. I'll gallop away from it using this horse of viveka. Okay? And then I will get a nice chintamani. Chintamani means crown jewel. Nice ratna chintamani. You'll also get. And what is ratna chintamani? Santosham. Santosham in Sanskrit means actually contentment. Not the English, not the Tamil santosham. And santosha in Sanskrit means contentment. Okay? Satisfaction, contentment. So you will have this chintamani, this jewel called santosha, contentment. And then you will have this great amritam. Amritam means it confers immortality. Great nectar of immortality, great amritam. What is this amritam? This is Atma Jnanam. The knowledge of Atma, the reality of knowing sorry, the knowing of my own reality, of what my truth is. Knowing that is Atma Jnana. Knowing it unambiguously, clearly, that is Atma Jnana. And a knower of such a reality is immortal. Shastras will say, Brahmavid, Brahmaiva Bhavati. The knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. And Brahman is immortal. That is the Maha Amritam that this text is talking about. And you will have this moon, Chandrodayam, rising of the moon in your life also. And that Chandrodayam is Vairagya, dispassion, which will also come to you as a result of vichara as well as cultivating the values. And finally, you get the Shri, which I mentioned earlier, the Shri, the wealth of Mukti, the Lakshmi of Mukti, which you will get freedom from the samsara, from the cycle of birth and death. All this will accrue to one who pursues the Vedanta vichara, inquiry, seriously, and develops the values. We spoke about all the other values, karma yoga, sadhana chatushtaya, cultivation of a pure mind, a steady mind, and Vedanta vichara. That's what will accrue to such a person. And then the Swami Vidyaranya finishes the text with the prayer. Prasadat Dakshinamurte Shityacharya Prasadataha Durvaasana Pratikaara Dashakam Rachitam Maya. He finishes it off to say that by the grace of my own Acharya, my own teacher, my own Guru, and by the grace of Lord Dakshinamurti and the grace of Shruti, Vedas itself, I've been able to compose this set of 10 verses called the Durvaasana Pratikaara Dashakam. So here you can see, if you read the handout I gave you, they said, the commentator of this text says you should keep this sheet and make a chart and look at it daily. What type of disease is there? And the temperature keeps changing every day. One day anger degree goes up, another day depression, one day can be laziness. So this is a thermometer. She wants you to use this as a thermometer to measure not one temperature, but many temperatures. One is the temperature of anger, temperature of judgment, temperature of non-forgiveness, temperature of fear, and see how you are able to progress and keep track of it. That is what the teacher is saying here at the end. The commentator is saying at the end of this set of 10 verses. Okay, with that we are done with this text. Any questions?
Raviji, Nandini here. I didn't quite get the explanation of what the elephant equates.
Elephant was Dhairya. Because Airavatam is supposed to be very powerful in the Puranas. This Indra got two powerful. One is his Vajra, the thunderbolt weapon, and powerful Vahanam, the vehicle called Airavatam. And here the Airavatam he's saying will be Dhairya, fearlessness.
Okay.
You have to unmute yourself. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so in the PowerPoint presentation for remedy 35, it is written, accept that suffering caused by three sources is intrinsic to them. Sorry, I didn't get what is the three sources.
The last week when we were looking at it, we said that typically tapatraya, that means miseries can come to us in three forms. One is from within ourselves, number one. Number two, by forces, elements that are seen around us, number two. Number three, forces and elements that are not seen. Okay, so that is why we typically say that when we finish anything, we say three shantis, Om Shanti, 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 right? One is called, the first one is Adhyatmika, which is from within. Adi Bhautika, which is from around us, seen forces, and Adi Daivika, which is unseen forces. The point, the remedy that we were saying there, that the nature of these obstacles to come, it will come to you. It's in their nature as a result of your karmic blueprint. These things will happen to you. It's intrinsic to them to create such situations which may be favorable or unfavorable to you. Because our issues most of the time is always asking, why me? Why did it happen to me? So here this remedy is to say, get into that mode of acceptance. Accept it. These things happen. Don't keep on asking why me, and why not the other person. It's because these elements will operate according to your karmic blueprint. It's in their nature to give you what is meant for you. So accept it and then live with it, manage it, use God to make God as your co-partner to give you the strength and power to overcome it, accept it, and grow in the process.
Nandini, again here, remedy 37, you mentioned that unhappiness may occur from contempt of other people. So we must take refuge in God. I don't quite get that. Could you?
37. Okay, the one I'm having here is because there was a typo error in the last one. So this is the latest one without all the typo errors. Which one is it in particular, Nandini?
Maybe that's 38 in your chart. I don't know.
Seek solace in God.
No. Yeah, yes.
Right? Seek solace in God.
Unhappiness caused by
Contempt by others. Yeah.
Contempt by others. I thought contempt of others.
No. By others.
Oh,
When others
okay.
show contempt to you.
Okay. Then it makes sense. So I was wondering how of other people is what I had noted. Okay.
When others show you contempt. Yeah.
Okay.
So while there are 41 remedies, don't forget the first part is a lifestyle. Don't forget the very first one. Daily prayers, have God as a partner in your life. Lead a life of karma yoga. Study Vedanta and other religious texts daily. Underline the word daily. Then earn sufficient for maintenance of one's family and oneself. That was a lifestyle that was prescribed first before they went into the remedies. Some of you are looking at it like this, seeing for the first time, no? Don't make me scared. Huh? The numbering has been corrected. Huh? This is the correct version. Hopefully there are no numbers, no type of errors this time. Please let me know if there are any. You see, even if you look at remedy 30, where Atma is something that is, you're not comfortable with it, replace it with God. Huh? Okay? God is with me, because it's important that there be a strategy, to manage some of these problems that we may face. Okay? So where Atma, you're not so comfortable with what is Atma, then replace it with God. Okay? Or divinity. Okay, can we go on to Tattva Bodha then? Okay, yeah. Let's take a 1 minute, observe a minute of silence. Collect your thoughts. Come back here, be present, be in the now, be here. Okay, close your eyes. Or if you feel comfortable opening your eyes, that's also fine. But most important is be present. Ask yourself if this is the most perfect moment in your life. This is the most perfect moment in your life. Would you want to waste it thinking about the past or the future? No. So be in the present. Okay, we'll observe 1 minute silence starting from now. Okay. We open your eyes. We shall resume with Tattva Bodha. Quick recap. If you remember the opening, or rather the second sentence from Tattva Bodha, the opening verse was the prayer, also Devendra Yogindram, prayer by the author to his teacher. That was the opening verse. The second verse was where the substance started, where the teacher said that this text, Tattva Bodha, is Tattva Viveka Prakaram. I'm going to explain what is the Tattva Viveka Prakaram. Okay, it went as Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannadikarinam Moksha Sadhana Bhutam Tattva Viveka Prakaram Bhakshyamaha. Right? It means he's saying that I'm going to, or rather he says Bhakshyamaha, it means we are going to describe this Tattva Viveka Prakaram, this method of inquiry into Tattva. Tattva means the reality, discriminative inquiry into the reality of everything. That we are going to unfold this methodology. And what is the purpose of unfolding this methodology? Because it is moksha sadhana bhutam. That means it's the means for attainment of liberation or moksha. And who are the people who can embark on this inquiry? They are the people who are the sadhana chatushtaya sampannadikarinam. That means the adhikaris of sadhana chatushtaya, the people who have are cultivating, or who are committed to cultivating the sadhana chatushtaya. Okay, the fourfold qualifications. Okay, so there are three things he mentioned. He said, first, number one, we are going to unfold the method of inquiry into the truth, and the purpose of this inquiry is to attain moksha, and this is for people who have committed to the cultivation of the fourfold qualifications. Okay, this was the opening shot from the teacher. The student will then ask, what is sadhana chatushtaya? What are these qualifications? And then the teacher will elaborate. And after he has finished the elaboration on the sadhana chatushtaya, he'll ask the next question, what is tattva viveka? Because he said sadhana chatushtaya and he also mentioned tattva viveka. So the student will ask, what is tattva viveka? To which the teacher will say, he'll give the quick, short reply. What is Tattva Viveka? What is inquiry into Tattva? The teacher's reply will be, Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mitya iti. Atma is Satyam, everything else is Mitya. Atma is Satyam, Anatma is Mitya. Anything that is not Atma, other than Atma, everything else is Mitya. We spent almost an entire class discussing the relationship between Satyam and Mitya and the definition of what is Mitya. Okay? And after that, the student will ask, because here he said, Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarva Mitya iti. So he will ask, what is Atma? And that is where the analysis of the microcosm starts. Okay? The analysis of the microcosm starts at that point where the teacher will say, what is Atma? I had explained earlier, Atma, the short definition is essentially that Atma is your core, your essence, your reality. Okay, Atma is your essence, your reality. Okay, and that is something that we seek to discover through Vedantic inquiry. Atma is your core, your essence. We seek to discover it through Vedantic inquiry and cultivation of sadhana chatushtaya. Okay, so here the teacher is going to unfold what is Atma, and he starts off by saying first what Atma is not. He doesn't straight away go and point out what is Atma. He starts off by saying what Atma is not. Okay? And he does that by saying that Atma is not the things that we popularly, commonly take ourselves to be. Because Atma is your core. So it's about telling you who you are, what's your real nature. But we have a mistaken notion today about what is our real nature. And that is where the teacher starts off by negating these false notions. And he starts off by saying that it is something that is, Atma is other than the three bodies, the gross body, subtle body, and the causal body. Atma is beyond the Panchakoshas, 5 layers of personality. That's Panchakosha. I didn't want to use it as sheath because there is no real physical sheath to deal with. So Panchakoshas are 5 layers of personality of the individual. That is something that we take ourselves to be. Here the author is saying that you are not any of these 5 layers of or levels of personality. You're not. And then he says that Atma is also the witness of the 3 states of experience. Okay? witness of the three states of experience, which is the avastatraya. Okay, so having said what Atma is not, he goes on to say what is Atma, then, which is where he says Atma is Satchidananda Swarupa. To which the student asks, then what is Sat, what is Chit, and what is Ananda? And that is elaborated by the teacher. And he finishes off by saying that Evam Satchidananda Swarupam Swatmanam Vijaniya. So you may you, he blesses, not bless, it's like encouraging the student, may you go and discover yourself as Satchidananda. Okay, so with that, he finishes off the microcosmic analysis. That means the analysis of the individual from, analysis of Atma, the inquiry into the Atma from the individual point of view. That means the entire analysis so far has been about the individual from the first person perspective. What are you? What have you mistaken? Or rather, what am I? Who am I? What have I mistaken myself to be? And the Shruti, the Shastra, is pointing out the common places where I make the mistake in trying to discover myself. And this analysis is at the microcosmic, at the individual level. And the word for it, they call it Vyashti Vichara. Okay? Vyashti means microcosm analysis. So Vyashti Vichara is finished. So the first part of Tattva Bodha was Sadhana Chatushtaya. Second part is Vyashti Vichara, analysis of the microcosm. The third part will be the analysis of the macrocosm, which is the Samashti Vichara. Vyashti is microcosm, Samashti is macrocosm, which is what we are going to start now. Okay, so that will be the third part. The fourth part will be the equation of the Vedanta statement Tattvamasi. Now we'll look at the analysis of what is Tat, what is Tvam, and what is Asi, and how the whole Mahavakya of Tattvamasi materializes. That's the fourth part. And the fifth part will be the fruit of the study of the Tattva Bodha, fruit of study of Vedanta, the fruit of the study of the phala of the entire text. Okay? So, at the end of the analysis of Atma, we had looked at Atma as Chit Jnana Swarupa, as the nature of consciousness. And consciousness was seen to be everything there is, all there is. But having said all that, there is a creation for me to contend with, because we've been talking about Atma as consciousness, Atma being the supporter of the body, Atma is Satyam, the three bodies are Mitya, Atma is Satyam, the three states of experience is Mitya, the 5 levels of personality is Mitya, right? But then the next question is, what about people around me? What about creation? What about the mountains? What about the rivers that I see out there? What about the weather? What about all the buildings, the entire creation, the seasons, all of that? There's a creation out there that I have to contend with. So the natural question will come then, what is all this, and what is the relationship between me and this jagat that is out there? So that is why the teacher here, after having unfolded Atma by saying all that it is not, he doesn't finish. He doesn't wait for the question from the student. He straight away goes on to elaborate goes straight away into the macrocosmic analysis, okay, which is in actually page 267 for the blue book. So if you look at the verse, it's about the verse pertaining to creation. He'll say, Ata Chaturvimshati Tattva Utpatti Prakaram Vakshyamaha. It means I am now going to explain to you the mode, the method, the mode of origin of the 24 essential principles. That means he's basically going to start off by, he's going to explain creation. Henceforth, from this verse onwards, he's going to explain creation. And the way he's going to do it is by talking about the 24 elements or 24 factors of creation. He's going to articulate that. And in the course of doing that, you will get to see how creation came about from Ishvara. Okay? So you notice he doesn't wait for the student to ask any more questions. That means, what is he saying? It means his answer is not complete yet. His answer to the student It's not complete yet. Having given the answer from the microcosmic perspective, the teacher jumps straight next to the macrocosmic perspective, and he starts saying that I'm going to explain to you the mode of origin, the utpatti. Tattva utpatti, that means the utpatti means creation or srishti, the origination of this jagat, based on the 24 principles, the Chaturvimshati, okay? 24 tattvas they call it in other literature, or 24 factors, you can say. We'll see later what are these 24, okay? Do note that this is actually a model that Shastra is proposing to you, a model of creation to show the sequence of how from the one reality, one ultimate truth, God, how from that one came the subtle, and from the subtle, the gross came about. Okay? Always, the gross always comes from the subtle. Subtle does not come from gross. It's always an evolution of one that was always in existence. From that came the subtle. From the subtle came the gross. Okay? That was the modality, and that's how they will unfold in the verses to come. Okay? So having said that, he goes straight to the next verse, which is on page 269 for the blue book. Brahmashraya Satva Rajas Tamo Gunatmika Maya Asti. Okay, he's saying here, Maya, with its being in Brahman, endowed with three gunas, Satva, Rajas, and Tamas. Okay, so he straight away starts by saying that Brahma Ashraya, with its being in Brahman. So he's saying this, he starts off by saying, there is this Maya. Maya has its being in Brahman, and Maya is Sattva Raja Stamo Gunatmika. Maya is of the nature of Sattva Raja Tamas Gunas. Okay? Again, Maya is Brahma Ashraya. That means it has its being in Brahman. Okay, number one. Number two, Maya is of the nature of Sattva Rajas Tamo Gunatmika. Okay? So let's take the first one first. Brahma Ashraya. What is Brahma Ashraya? It has it here, that translation is with its being in Brahman. Essentially, what he's saying is the relationship between Maya and Brahman is one of Satyam and Mitya. Brahman has the power to create. This power to create is Maya. In other literature, in other Siddhantas and philosophies, sometimes they even call it as Prakriti. Okay? Prakriti is essentially the power that Brahman possesses to be able to evolve, to create the universe. That power is called Maya. Does it then mean that there are two realities? One is called Brahman and one is called Maya? No. Fire and its power to burn, are they two entities? No, they're one. There's only fire. Then the power to burn is intrinsic to fire. Okay? So the Maya is not an independent power, something independent that exists out of Brahman. Maya is, that's why I say Brahman Ashraya. It has its being in Brahman. Maya has its being in Brahman. Okay? So the power to manifest the universe is Maya. Okay? So Maya is not an independent reality. It is not even a parallel reality. Okay? Brahma Satyam, Maya is Mitya. Okay? And this is what actually translates, if you look at other Siddhantas like Shaiva Siddhanta or even other, in fact, many schools, even in popular Shaivism, this is where the Shiva-Shakthi principle comes about. When they talk about Shakti, is the power to create. Correct? Shakti is the power to create, and Shiva is the Adhisthana, the basis on which the Shakti is. Okay? So the Shiva-Shakti principle is actually one. There are not two principles there. It's one and the same. They call it the Shiva-Shakti principle. That is where when you symbolize it, it becomes your Ardhanarishvara and all that. Okay? So that is the parallel of Brahman and Maya, or Brahman and Prakriti. Okay? Now let's look at it with a bit more in depth. to get a better appreciation, because we now we're saying that Maya is the power to create, and Maya is of the nature of Sattva, Rajas, Tama, Guna, and from this the entire creation came forth. So how does this whole thing sit? Huh? I need to draw you back to our dream model, if you remember. In dream, who is the creator of the dream? When you have a nice dream and you're sleeping, who is the creator of the dream? You are the creator, correct? I dream. In the dream, I always use the example where I dream myself to be a king. I have a nice palanquin on which soldiers are carrying me. I have a huge palace. I have bodyguards. I have soldiers. Correct? Who is the creator of this dream? Me, right? It's my mind that projected this dream. The objects that appear in the dream, the palanquin carrier, the animals, the bodyguards, the soldiers, the tree, the palanquin, my palace, all of this, who is the creator of this? It was created by me, right? And if it's created by me, by my mind, then I pervade that entire dream, right? So in that dream, I am the soldier, I am the palanquin, I am the tree, I am the palace, correct? Everything there is me. The creator has pervaded the creation. There's nothing in there that is not me. Is there something in the dream that came from outside into the dream? No, there's nothing there that came from outside. The creator, the dreamer pervades the entire dream. Alright? The created objects there in the dream are not independent of the dreamer. Correct? The dreamer is both the material cause as well as the intelligent cause. Okay? For those who can't remember what is material intelligent cause, go back to the analogy I said about a potter. When a potter makes a pot, the clay is the material cause, the potter is the intelligent cause, the brains, the know-how to make the pot, right? So when I make a pot, clay is the material cause, potter is the intelligent cause, correct? The pot is separate from the intelligent cause, but it's not separate from the material cause, correct? Correct? In the case of a pot. But in the case of a dream, I am the material cause, I am also the intelligent cause. The material cause and the intelligent cause is one and the same in my dream, correct? There is no separate person to create the dream, and there is no separate material used to create the dream. Both are my creations. I pervade the entire dream. So I go back to again, I am the tree, I am the palanquin, I am the bodyguard, I am the soldier, I am the grass, I am the pond, and if I fall from the palanquin, I'm the ground on which I fall. Everything there is conjured by me and me alone. Is there any part of the dream that is not me? Everything is me. And most importantly, while the dream exists, today once I'm out of the dream, I say it's all a dream. But when the dream is happening, when you are inside the dream, and when I am inside the dream as a king, do I know that this is a dream? Do I say that, oh, actually that tree is no tree, it's actually Ravi's imagination? No, I don't say that. When I'm in the dream, the tree is as real as it can be. The palace is as real as it can be. The bodyguards are so real. The palanquin is so real. Everything is real. But it is a dream. Okay? So this is the model you have to bear in mind with regard to the creation of Jagat by Bhagavan, by Brahman. Because by the same analogy, the Jagat is a creation of Brahman, where Brahman pervades the entire creation and every object is dependent upon Brahman. The same analogy. Extend it beyond to look at how The Jagat is a dream in Brahman as a manifestation. Okay? If you look at it that way, remember, every piece of my dream was who? Was me, right? There was nothing external, right? There was not one single external element or external entity in my dream. Everything was me. In creation, likewise, therefore, if I scale this up, everything that is there in Jagat is nothing but Ishvara. Everything that is there is Brahman, the one entity that existed. And Maya was the power that brought about the multifarious differences. Okay? So now you can see why, based on this model, divinity is all there is. That is why they say in Hinduism, there is no one God or many God. They say, when we teach the 101, we always tell the students, in Hinduism, there is no one God. In Hinduism, there is no many gods. No, both are wrong answers. In Hinduism, there is only God. Because God pervades every micro centimeter, every nanometer, every single space that you can think of is pervaded by God and God alone. Okay? That is why the word they use as Bhagavan as, they say abhinna nimitta upadhaana kaarana. He is both the nimitta and the upadhaana kaarana. That means he is both the intelligent cause and the material cause of the universe. But as they use this word abhinna, that means it's a non-separate. Bhinna means separate. Abhinna means non-separate. It means he is a non-separate, intelligent and material cause of the universe. The non-separate is important because through some wild imagination, we can say that something can be both the material and intelligent cause and still be separate about it. Through that. But again, that could be someone's fantasy. But here they want to drive home the point straight to say that it's a non-separate material and intelligent cause of the creation. Okay? That is the message that the Shruti gets through. And so, if that is the case, God is therefore non-separate from everything and anyone. So God is firstly non-separate from you. Established. Number one. That's why we say, the Mahavakya says, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. But that's something to be realized, but it can be taken on faith. As a Vedanta student, you can take it at faith and work on it. That is possible. Aham Brahmasmi is not a statement that you reserve only on the day of your realization, That's wrong. Aham Brahmasmi is a statement that you can take and reflect on it. Behave like it. Behave like you are Brahman. I always said this. When you say that divinity is in you, you don't have to behave like Shiva and wrap snakes around your head or carry a trishul. Shiva has got many other wonderful attributes that you can manifest. Love, kindness, compassion, forgiving, non-judgment. All these are divine attributes which will make you divine, which will make you manifest the divinity that is in you. Okay? So first one, God is non-separate from you. Aham Brahmasmi. Second, by the same token, if I use this model, God is also in everyone. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Correct? Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma is from Aham Brahmasmi is from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma is from Chandogya Upanishad. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma means God is, everything is Brahman. Sarvam Kalu Idam Brahman. Or you can take Ishavasya Upanishad. Ishavasyam Idam Sarvam. Bhagavan, God pervades the entire universe. Ishavasyam Idam Sarvam. That means all of this is Ishavasyam, is pervaded by Ishvara. That's from Isha Upanishads. Upanishads are telling it, shouting at the top of their voices. These Upanishads. To drive home the point that God is everywhere. And God is in everyone. So let's live that on faith first, while we pursue the journey to inquire and see it as a reality. As people of the Vedic tradition, we take the Shruti, we have faith in the Shruti. So we take the words of the Shruti with good faith, with Shraddha, and with that Shraddha, we work on the vichara, on the inquiry into the text of Vedanta, such that one day the faith becomes a reality. Okay? So first is Aham Brahmasmi, second is Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Two very important statements. You just need to live your life with these two statements. Everything will be fine. While you seek to know it as a reality, you can take it on faith. What does it mean if you say Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma? If you believe in Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, ask yourself, how will you treat other people? It means you're saying divinity is in someone. If God appears as that person in front of you, will you shout at him? Will you scold at him? Will you judge him? Will you say words that are hurtful? You won't. Correct? So that's what this creation model is showing. That Ishavasyam idam sarvam. God is everywhere. God is all there is. Okay? And we're not just talking about the physical sense. We're not talking about the physical sense alone. We're not talking about the physical sense alone. We're talking even about the subtle worlds, the entire subtle worlds, the Devalokas, including the world of thoughts. So, how far is your mind from the mind of God then? How far is your mind from the mind of God? Your mind is the mind of God. How far is God then? Really, in your mind? Just one thought away. God is just one thought away. Because when you think of God, God is there. That's all it is. He's not some far away sitting in heaven up there where you got to do firewalking to reach him, or you got to roll on the floor or do some painful tapas. I'm not saying anything wrong with the tapas, but the point is that I'm trying to drive home the point that he's not in some distant land far, far away. He's the closest and dearest to you. Okay? As we have shown via this model. Okay? So, Brahma Ashraya, Maya. And this Maya is of the nature of Sattva, Raja and Tamas. What is Sattva, Rajas and Tamas? Okay. In this context, Sattva means the power of, this is Jnana Shakti primarily. Jnana Shakti, power of knowledge. Rajas is power of action, Kriya Shakti. Okay. Sattva is knowledge, power of knowledge. Rajas is power of action, broadly. And Tamas is the power, you call it the Dravya Shakti, the power to suppress the other two. That is why Tamas is linked to inertness. There is neither knowledge nor action. Sattva is knowledge, Rajas is action, Tamas is inertness. Inertness means what? The first two are suppressed. There is neither knowledge nor action. Dullness, inertness is linked to Tamas. And what is creation? Creation is a combination, a various combinations of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas in different proportions, in different places, in different circumstances. That is what the entire Jagat is. So Maya, comprising Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, of the nature of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, combines in different proportions at different places, at different points in time to create this universe, this gross universe, and the subtle universe. That is the message that is conveyed here in saying Brahma Ashraya, Sattva Rajas Tamo, Gunatmika, Maya Asti. Okay? From here then we will go on to talk about how the 5 elements came and how the entire Jagat unfolded. So that is all very academic and very technical. The main learning point is actually in this verse, because subsequently what happens is all administrative, it's all it's like production factory, you already got all the raw materials, the rest of it is all combining things to produce, so that's easy. The main learning point is actually in this verse here, where Brahmashraya Sattva Rajas Tamo Gunatmika Maya Asti. Let me just give you a preamble of what is this 24. Actually, you have already encountered the 24. The 24 is actually 19 plus 5. Does the number 19 sound familiar to you? Can you remember? Yeah, where did we come across 19? In the microcosmic analysis, right? We had the 19 parts that made up the subtle body, right? The gross subtle body will have 19 elements inside, right? 5 organs of the senses, right? Jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas, 5 panchapranas. How many already? 15, right? 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas, 5 panchapranas. The 5 pranas, right? Prana, apana, yana. 15 already, right? 15 plus another 4 will make 19. What are the 4? Mano, manaha, manas, buddhi, ahankara, and chittam. Correct? Yeah. 19. Manas is the faculty of emotions. Buddhi is the faculty of determination. Mano, buddhi. Chittam is the recollective faculty to recollect, memory. And ahankara is the faculty of individuality, the individuality of person. Okay? So 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 4 makes 19, right? No. So where does it come to 24 then? From 19, if you plus another 5, it becomes 24. What are the 5? These 5? These 5 are the 5 elements. Because for the microcosmic analysis, it stops with the 19. But for the macro, you will find is 19 plus the Panchabhutas, the 5 elements together. So 19 plus 5, you will get 24. And that is the 24 Chaturvimshati that we are talking about here. Okay? But we'll look at that all in detail. Any questions now on this part of it? Because there have been lots of questions about Maya and what in earlier classes I prevented myself from going into a discussion on Maya and all that. But you finally get to see what exactly it is. Okay? So ask your questions to clarify, and what is creation and so forth.
Yeah, I was wondering for when you said for Maya, you said that Maya is the power to create. But shouldn't the power to create also be pure consciousness? Why are you saying Maya is the power to create?
Repeat your question again, the last line. Repeat the last line again.
So Maya, you said, was the power to create. But shouldn't the power to create be pure consciousness? So why are you calling the power to create Maya?
Good question. Very good question. Brahman is consciousness, correct? We saw this in Atma, but we'll look at it later in greater detail. But Brahman is consciousness. Now, when consciousness manifests as the Jagat, Maya is the cause for that, to bring about that creation, the manifestation of the consciousness as the world. That aspect of it is called Maya. It's not a power in the physical sense of a power, but it's the cause for the manifestation. Let me use the dream example again. In your dream, or rather in my dream, earlier, the example, what was in my dream, I saw a palanquin, I saw a palace, I saw soldiers. But what did they all really comprise? What were they really made of? What was the reality of them? Nothing but consciousness, correct? They were all manifestations of consciousness, correct? Only thing, they were conjured in a certain way according to how my mind had projected it. The palace was consciousness, right? It was my consciousness. Was the palanquin was consciousness. The soldier was consciousness. The trees there were consciousness. But they were all configured differently, or they appeared differently because of the will of my mind, correct? My mind had enabled them to be configured differently, but they were all consciousness in essence. Their Satyam was still consciousness. The Mitya name form was conjured by my mind. So if I scale this up now, Brahman is consciousness. Maya is that which configures the consciousness into all its different forms. Remember, Satyam Mitya example. You can configure the clay in whatever way you want, but and you can configure the clay to become pot, but pot is only a name and form. Clay is the Satyam, the reality. Thought is Mitya. So back to your question, the creation is a Mitya. If you analyze the creation, you will find it's nothing but the Satyam, which is consciousness itself. Okay? So consciousness as though seems to have been modified and made, but that modification, so-called modification, is only a modification in name. That is why you must go back to Satyam Mitya relationship. If something really changes and becomes something else, for example, milk becoming curd, for example, milk becomes curd, right? That is not a Satyam Mitya relationship. That is what they call as a transformation. That means the milk has transformed into a curd. You with me? Milk has transformed into a curd. Then I cannot say the relationship between milk and curd is one of Satyam and Mitya. Wrong. That is not the right example. An example of Satyam Mitya will be like water and wave. Where water from calm, it became a wave. That is a Satyam Mitya relationship. Okay? Consciousness becoming creation is not, according to Shastras, it is not like the example of milk becoming curd. It's not. It is not like milk becoming curd. It is like water becoming wave. That is why the relationship between consciousness and Jagat is one of Satyam and Mitya. Brahman is consciousness, is Satyam. Brahman consciousness is Satyam. Jagat is Mitya. This configuration is all a mere play of names and forms. From the standpoint of consciousness, actually there is no change. The change is only with regard to name and form. Shankara will say, not Shankara, Chandogya Upanishad will say, Vacharambanam vikaro namadeyam. The change is only in Vakalambanam with regard to name and form. That's all. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Ravi, Nandini here. You earlier mentioned this phrase, abhinna. I didn't get the second two words. What was the...
Nimitta upadhaana kaarana.
So, nimitta, what does it actually
Nimitta
translate?
kaarana means intelligent cause. Upadhaana kaarana means material cause. So in a pot, the upadhaana kaaranam is the clay. The nimitta kaaranam is the potter. In a jewel, in a piece of necklace, the upadhaana kaaranam is gold. The nimitta kaaranam is the goldsmith. Okay. But in those analogies, the goldsmith is different from the jewelry. So in the case of the gold, the upadhaana kaaranam is the same as the item. There's no difference. But the nimitta karanam and the upadhaana karanam are separate. The goldsmith is not the jewelry, nor is he the gold. He's a separate. The intelligent cause is separate. The nimitta karanam is separate from the upadhaana karanam. But here in creation, they say it's abhinna, non-separate nimitta and upadhaana karanam. Means you're saying the nimitta and upadhaana karanam are non-separate from the product. Okay. It's hard to justify upadana. Most of the time, the upadana karanam is the same. Upadana karanam cannot be separate from the object. The object is nothing but the material. Most of the time, the nimitta karanam is separate from the upadana karanam. Here, they are using the word abhinna to make it clear that nimitta and upadana karanam are not separate. They are one and the same. The other analogy we often use in other classes, remember, is the analogy of the spider and the web. Okay, that's another example. The dream example that I just shared is another example where when I dream, I am both the nimitta karanam as well as I am the upadana karanam of my dream. So I say in my dream, I am the palanquin, I am the palace, I am the one who created it. Everything is me. And follow.
So you just have to think of we are all actors in that dream of that Brahman.
Exactly. That is why in Mandukya Upanishad, it's about waking up from the dream. Remember, Avastha Triya, the fourth state Turiya is the one that is out of the dream, that is beyond the dream, that is the Sakshi of the dream. So it is about waking up from the dream. Exactly. It's just that we are stuck in the dream that we do not know that we're in the dream. We endeavor to discover the reality of this dream. Yeah, Kartik.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think slightly technical, but I understand the Sanchita karma causes the next birth to happen, to kind of get rid of the karma, right? But what is the first cause that causes the Shakti or the Maya to transform the consciousness?
What is the?
What is the first cause, the initial cause?
You are, by this question you're asking presupposes that time and space are absolute. This question you're asking presupposes that time and space are absolutes. Okay?
Yep, that's true.
When? Because your question is when, right?
Not when. Why did that first time happen?
Your question is why.
Right.
Right? Means your question is why did it manifest, right?
Right.
Okay. So the point is, if I tell you that it's from, if you look at it from the standpoint of consciousness, there was never a manifestation. Imagine now, go back to my dream example again. I am inside the dream. I am a dream. I'm a king in my dream. I've got palanquins. People are carrying me. I'm leaving my palace. I'm going to the jungle. At that point, what is my conjecture? That I've lived a certain life. There is a time. There is a space. All of it is there, right? But what is the reality? There's nothing there. There's only my dream. There's only my consciousness. So there is never the question of why is never there, because the whole thing is an illusion. It's only a name and that's projected in your mind. Because from the standpoint of consciousness, there is no creation. There is only the Sat Vastu. There is only consciousness.
Time and space is within only that dream.
Sorry?
The time and space is, you're saying the time and space is only within the dream.
Exactly, right?
Yep.
In the dream last night, I dreamt that I was a young, handsome man of 25 years old. At that point in my dream, how many years have I lived? 25, correct?
Yep.
So time and space is relative to the dream. The space is, the worst part is the space, because in that dream, I could see I could see for 50 kilometers when the guys were carrying my palanquin. But did the 50 kilometers exist in reality? It was existing only in my awareness, in the dream, correct? So time and space is only with regard to what you perceive. That is why in deep sleep, there is no time and space. And in your dream state, you have a different set of time and space. Correct?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Sada?
Ravi, is it right to say that basically this inseparableness between the created and the creator is a postulate that is being proposed by the Shastras in this Vedantic thought? It is being postulated.
Postulated for, okay, I don't know whether is postulate the right word. It's like if you go back to science, you have a hypothesis, right? That you put up first, and then you validate the hypothesis via experiments, right? To get data to validate the hypothesis, right? Do you call that a postulation? You do, right? Okay, so if that's the case, then that's exactly what this is.
A postulate usually has no proof. You take it as it is because it cannot be proven.
Okay.
And so here
then it's not a postulate, because this is, you take the way Shruti Vakyas on Shraddha, on faith, pending discovery. And what is the discovery? The discovery is the vichara, the inquiry in the Vedanta, such that you arrive at a point when you see this hypothesis as a reality for yourself. And that is when Aham Brahmasmi is no longer a faith-based statement. It's an experiential, knowledge-based statement. I use the word experiential knowledge. Experiential knowledge-based statement, Aham Brahmasmi, where I see myself as one with entire creation. And at that point, what has happened is that my hypothesis or postulate, whatever you call it, the English word, that which I had taken at faith at the beginning of this journey now stands proved. It's no longer a faith-based statement. It's no longer a hypothesis. It's a reality. Why? Because it's a reality of who I am.
I mean,
I've seen it for myself.
would it happen that it will be a reality for some and it will not be a reality for others? I mean,
It will become a
in
reality.
which case for them, are we saying that if they don't agree to it as reality, then it is not the truth? Is something that we will state about them. Would that be fair to say?
Sorry?
I mean, because the other person or maybe after the journey, I still haven't been able to find that validation. Does that make it? Does that make that reality of mine unreal or not incorrect?
Okay. The journey starts with Shraddha, okay?
Yes.
Because we have Viswasa, we have faith, we have Shraddha on the words of the Shruti. So we act upon the words of Shastras with faith. Okay, that's the starting point. Now, until and the experiential knowledge that you get at the end is the moksha, for after which there is no birth. That's the end of the journey. But while progressing on this journey, the truth, the reality of this postulate or hypothesis or this, let's call it assumption, this assumption, faith-based assumption that you started off with, this will start to uncover gradually. There may be facets and aspects that you'll get to see as you do the vichara, the inquiry into the Vedanta, number one, as you cultivate the pure mind, and as you cultivate a steady mind. All three, Vedanta vichara alone not enough. The other two, all three must be there. You will start to see it in uncovering facets, aspects of it. The final full picture will be seen, of course, at the end, right? Yep. So that is the motivation for the student of Vedanta on the journey, to undertake this journey. Because if I tell you that's all, everything is only going to be seen at the end of the film, end of the movie, then nobody wants to undertake the journey, because it can be long and arduous, and it may not even be, like you said, not everyone may get to see it.
Yeah.
But there is a reward. While the full reward is there, and not everybody may experience a full reward in this lifetime, there is a reward to be gained even in this lifetime while the journey, that you undertake the journey, because the clarity that you get, the happiness that you get, the sukham that you're going to get, the God-centeredness that's going to come into your life, the fulfillment you're going to achieve, all these are things that are really worth trying for, worth making. All these things will make the journey worth it. You see? So there are lots of perks for the seeker. There are lots and lots of perks for the seeker in addition to the final fruit, in addition to the pot of gold that awaits at the end of the rainbow. And these perks make it worthwhile for people to undertake the journey. And as you rightly pointed out, at the beginning of the journey, yes, it is a faith-based assumption to get you going on the journey, to get you to undertake the journey.
Okay, thanks.
Make sense?
Ravi, a quick question.
Yeah.
Can the journey be done in the reverse direction?
Reverse direction.
Like you've given us the hint of the final already.
Okay.
So having some knowledge of that, can we work backward?
Give me a flavor of how to do it. I can't put my brain around it.
Okay, you have said that we have to go through the experience of the journey and the self-reflection in order to have self-realization. But if we have now some indication of what that end result is, can we modify our search and our behavior knowing that already. I can't give you a specific example.
Okay, the reverse, you see, once the end is reached, there is no going back, because after that, it's the end of samsara. So there is no, the scope to work backwards is not really there. What can motivate you in the journey can be that the destination has been reached by other people. Say you get inspiration from Ramana Maharishi, for example, or somebody else who have attained self-realization, and they describe some of the experiences, and this is what it is. That can be kind of motivation. But the fact remains that the journey is still from A to B. See, it can't be from B to A. If that's what you mean by reverse, I still don't get it. How it can be a reverse process, because it's like it or not, it's an upward process. Upward as in the sense that not physically, but a journey whereby I discover more and more about myself, and I discard more and more the errors that I have with regard to who I am. So that is the journey, and it is a one-way traffic. If you look in the way I see it, so I don't really understand what you mean by reverse. Chitra, any idea about what is meant by reverse? What Dr. Prasad?
I'm sorry, I wouldn't know, Ravi.
No, maybe Dr. Prasad, you want to shed some light on what exactly? I mean, you're thinking. What were you thinking of when you asked that question? Actually,
No, I'm not saying that we have reached full realization. I'm just saying that we are not starting from zero base. We have some indication from what you have been teaching us and so on and so forth, what we have been reading. So we are a little bit, can visualize, although it's not experiential, we have a sense of what's there, at least for some.
Sure. But that goes for everybody else. You see, if somebody is brought up in a family where you've been exposed to Vedanta early on, or you are born with samskaras, where you've got inclination to study from a young age, like Shankara, So there are a whole range of factors: the background, the family, the type of people you mix with, your own keenness to study, your own samskaras, your vasanas that you brought with you, the positive vasanas. So all of this can give you a jump start or head start, so to speak. Yeah, if that's what you're talking about, then definitely yes, it's possible. Then everybody need not make the journey from a position where I know nothing. No, it need not. Even for something like sadhana chatushtaya, if you take the qualifications, some people's vasanas may be so strong in some of these that it's very natural to them. You see, so they just ease along on the journey very rapidly. It's like they may be behind you in the race. If I may draw the analogy of a race, they may be behind you, but they will just speed past you because of those vasanas that they have. Okay, if not, then it's 9 o'clock, we can finish. Next week, we'll go and look at how the Jagat, the creation of the subtle universe and the gross universe comes about. Okay, reflect on this verse today, and if you have any questions, you can separately email, or you can even raise it next week during the class. Okay. No other questions? Then we can call it close. Swasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahishaah go brahmanebhya shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyah prithvi sasya shalini desho yamsho barahita brahmana santu nirbhayah sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramayah sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.